began yesterday. We witnessed the commencement of the Tournament of Champions right here in the studios of Nigeria Info. And now we return for day 2. Yesterday, we saw Cindy and Charles do battle in the first debate, Charles prevailing. Subsequently, it was the turn of Excel and Afolari. Excel, he did excel. In the end, one of Cindy and Afolari had to go. Votes cast, decision made. I beg to differ. Students debate, Tournament of Champions, the national finals. Bid farewell to his first casualty. Cindy had to go. Today, it continues. Welcome back to day 2 of Nigeria Info's I Beg to Differ National Tournament of Champions. Today, we continue the journey, our journey, your journey, these young students' journey, the journey of the country towards picking Nigeria Info's debate champion of champions. We'll do so through the power of this course. Champions from across Nigeria competing for the grand prize. Yes, welcome. We're streaming live on Facebook and YouTube. I'm Femi Obong-Daniels, and of course, with me is the fantastic Yvonne. Okhaifo.
Thank you very much, Femi. Welcome, Nigeria, to day 2 of the tournament. I am Yvonne Okhaifo. We are thankful and most grateful to Chrisland Schools for partnering with us to house the champions from out of state. Olaya Foods and Catering are partnering with us to keep the debaters refreshed. Olaya Foods and Catering make all kinds of local delicacies. They have outlets at Lekki, Victoria Island, Surulere, and Ikeja. You can reach out to them to place your order with them. Call to Fly has partnered with us to transport the Abuja champions. Call to Fly caters to all your air transportation needs, everything from flight ticketing, hotel reservation, to freight and logistics. Dear Nigeria, if you'd like to be a part of what is happening on Nigeria Info, a part of this debate, well, you can do so by sponsoring or partnering with us. You can send an email to info@nigeriainfo.fm.
Well, the winner of Nigeria Info's I Beg to Differ National Tournament of Champions will receive a grand prize of 2 million naira. Second place finisher receives 1 million naira, and it's 500,000 naira to the third place finisher. Would like to start by introducing our panel of brilliant, impartial judges. I'd like to start straight here. You can, if you are following our live stream, you can see these fantastic individuals. I'd like to start by saying welcome to Dr. Chike Mbadiche. He's the head of the Department of Communications, Media and Cultural Studies at the Pan-Atlantic University, Lagos, Nigeria. He's our chief judge. Also, Judge Amabasi Ekove. She's the program officer at the Budget Foundation. Judge Ifeoma Egbamuno. His news manager, Cool FM, Wazobia FM, Nigeria Info, and Kids FM. Judge Elizabeth Michael is a broadcast professional and learning experience designer. And finally, Yvonne Okhaifo, my co-moderator, is also doubling as our diction judge.
That's correct.
All right, at this point, it is time to introduce the debaters for the very first debate today. It is debate number 3. It pits 16-year-old Adepetu Adenike of Pacific Comprehensive College, Lagos, SS2 student, against Etomi Bernard Samuel. He's 14 years of age, an SS1 student of Jewel Model School in Abuja. The last time you saw Adepetu Adenike in the Adepetu tournament was in season 7. She went all the way to the final and lost that final narrowly. She won 4 debates in the process, and only that final debate was her undoing. In Abuja, Etomi Bernard, well, he won 2 of 3 debates. And here he is, the 14-year-old, here for a place in the National Tournament of Champions. Those are our 2 contestants. It is time now for the debate to begin. And even as we do that, first, we apologize. We started behind schedule. Remember, we are streaming live on Facebook and YouTube. We're also giving you opportunities to vote.
That's correct.
We're giving you opportunities to vote the better debater from your perspective. Also, as a reminder, there will be 2 debates today. 4 debaters. 2 winners, 2 losers. Of the 2 losers, the judges will save 1. The judges could use your help in arriving at that decision. So, when the time comes, you will have to join us to vote for who you will save of the 2 losing debaters today. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, it is time.
It is game on. Well, before we get to playing, here are the rules. You know them. The debaters were sent an email. They were told to prepare for both sides of the argument. Etomi, you were told to prepare for both sides, and so were you, Adenike. Remember the rules. You will get 3 phases of the debate: the presentation, the rebuttal, and the closing rounds. You should pay attention to this next rule because it is important. You must first refute your opponent's points during the rebuttal rounds before going on to add extra points of your own. Is that clear? If you do not do that, whatever points you add before refuting your opponent's point will be invalid. Therefore, pay attention to that rule. Judges, of course, will judge your style based on the eloquence of your presentation and closing rounds. So pay attention to how you open your debate and how you close your debate. Are those clear? Fantastic. I have 2 folded pieces of paper in my palm. Remember, you were told to prepare for both sides. Now you will pick the side of your argument.
And as that goes on, also to remind you, young ones, that should you, in the highly unlikely event, tie, in the unlikely event that you tie your debate, we haven't yet seen a tie, but it is quite possible. If it happens, you'll go to a tiebreaker round, in which case you will switch sides. 5 minutes is all you'll have to argue the position previously argued by your opponent. The judges will then make a decision. As I mentioned earlier, the judges will vote to retain one of the losers from today's debates. It's a second chance. So even if at any point in the debate you feel you are trailing and you feel it might be over, remember, it is not quite over. Give it your all to the very end. It might grant you a second chance. And should you win, remember, winning is not everything. Well, they say it's everything. Well, winning, beyond winning, we will determine who was the better winner on the day. And the better winner will have supposedly a slightly better draw in the next round. So whoever finishes third tonight, one of the two losers that is saved will go up against the best winner from last night, which is Excel. So whoever is the best winner tonight of the two debate pairs will go up against the person that was the wild card from yesterday, one of the two losers that was spared. Is that clear? So give it all your best.
Well, it is time to debate. The topic for this hour is: will suspending duties and taxes on imported food positively impact the nation's food security? Will suspending duties and taxes on imported food positively impact the nation's food security? We will now find out how these debaters picked. I will start with the lady to my right, Adenike. What side of this motion will you argue?
It begs to differ.
You will differ. You will say no. It will not positively impact the nation's food security. That leaves Etomi Bernard with the supporting side. Fantastic. Well then, they know their rules, they know the topic, and they know their sides. It is time to debate. We will start with the motion supporter. Etomi Bernard, you have 3 minutes to open your argument, and those 3 minutes start right away.
Food security has been a very important factor in the strengthening of the nation's economy. Its importance cannot be overemphasized in the life of an average citizen. On one hand, if toyed with inflation, on another hand, if handled properly, long-term and short-term benefits to potential consumers. And on this, I'd like to extend my warmest greetings to the impartial panel of judges, our accurate timekeeper, adept moderator, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, skilled staffs of Nigerian Info FM, and of course, my co-debater. I am Etomi Bernard from Joe Middle School, Abuja, standing in favor of the motion which states that suspending duties and taxes on imported food will suspend duties and taxes on imported food, possibly impact the nation's food security. Here are my reasons. 1. Immediate relief to consumers. Removing duties and taxes on imported food can immediately reduce food prices, thereby making general items more affordable to the general population. With low food prices, more people can access a wider variety of food products, thereby increasing overall food sovereignty and dietary diversity. 2. We have elevated supply shortages. By making imported food more affordable, a country is able to diversify its food sources, reducing dependence on domestic agriculture that can be affected by a variety of sources, such as drought and poor harvest. 3. We have supporting vulnerable population. We should remember that low food prices can be particularly beneficial for low-income households who spend a larger portion of their income on food. This can help to improve their food security and reduce malnutrition. In terms of crises such as natural disasters and economic downturns, suspending duties and taxes on imported food will provide immediate relief and support recovery processes. 4. Encourage market competition. By reducing import costs, a country creates a healthy competition between the domestic producer and the foreign producer, thereby leading to reduce in food prices and improvements in food quality. Also, by keeping food prices in check, suspending food duties can help control inflation, which is crucial for economic planning and stability. 5. Encouraging efficient agricultural practices. Domestic producers might be encouraged to innovate and improve efficiency in order to compete with the low price of imported goods in market. This is very profitable and sustainable. Also, farmers might shift focus to high-value crops for export or local markets, which can be very beneficial in the long term of agricultural productivity. 7. We have policy flexibility. Suspending duties and taxes on imported food can be a very flexible policy that we can use to address inflation and any other causes which can be led to monopolistic market prices. Also, number 8, I have potential for long-term cost savings. Reduce import costs, reduced food prices, which resulted from reducing import costs, can help to improve long-term cost savings for consumers and government programs. Other points like support for business, foster trading relationship, economic stimulus, and many others are just few out of the many benefits that we have from suspending duties and taxes on imported food. With this, I like to say that I hope I've been able to convincingly argue that suspending duties and taxes on imported food has the capability of changing the nation.
Well, Nigeria, it is time to hear from the motion opposer, the ever-smiling Adenike Adepetu. Adepetu, you now have 3 minutes and your time starts now.
On the 12th of May 2017, the government of Kenya, during a severe drought, removed import duties on maize to combat food shortages. While the measure provided temporary relief, it led to significant challenges for local maize farmers who struggled to compete with the influx of cheaper imports. Zambia, another African country, removed import duties on certain agricultural products to address food shortages and high prices. This policy led to a decline in the local agricultural productivities as farmers faced unfair competition from cheaper imports which flooded the country. My opponents, if the suspension of duties and taxes boomerang in these African countries, are the chances not also very high that the adoption of this policy will have a negative impact on Nigeria's economy? On this note, I'd like to say good day, Mr. Chairman, panel of judges, accurate timekeeper, my ever-attentive audience, and of course, my co-debater. My name is Adepetu Adenike from Pacific Comprehensive College, Shasha Akwonjo, Lagos State, and I'm here to oppose the notion we will suspending duties and taxes on imported food positively impact the nation's food security. Here are my points in opposing this notion. First, suspending duties and taxes on imported food items leads to revenue loss. Import duties and taxes are a significant source of government revenue. Suspending these duties can result in a substantial loss of income, potentially impacting other critical public services and development projects. Second, impact on trade balance. Reducing or eliminating tariffs and taxes can lead to a trade deficit as the country may import more than it exports. Increased import without a corresponding export can lead to a negative impact on the trade balance, thereby leading to economic instability, which is what we're facing in Nigeria today. Also, third, political and social considerations. While lower import costs can provide temporary relief, the displacement of local farmers and producers due to increased imports can lead to social tensions and unrest in rural areas. Also, national sovereignty. The dependence of foreign food sources can be seen as compromising national sovereignty and self-sufficiency, making it vulnerable to global market fluctuation and supply chain disruptions. Furthermore, impact on local farmers and producers. Lower import costs can have impact on can undermine local farmers and producers who may struggle to compete with cheaper imports. This can lead to reduced income and potential job losses in the agricultural sector. Additionally, dumping risk. There is a risk of dumping where foreign producers sell excess goods at very low prices, which could destabilize the local market. And I am very sure no one wants their country to be a dump yard for foreign companies. There could be influx of very poor quality imported food, which could silently endanger the health of our people and lead to the loss of lives and various health complications on our health facilities and our medical caregivers. In conclusion, the African Development Bank president said Nigeria must not be turned into a food-dependent country, adding that Nigeria cannot import its way out of food insecurity. He said Nigeria must feed itself with pride, insisting that a nation that depends on others to feed itself is independent only in name. Thank you.
Right on time, Adepetu Adenike, right on time. Quite a spirited debate there in the opening round. It is time to go straight into the rebuttal round now. And for this round, we will revert to the motion opposer, Adepetu Adenike. You now have 3 minutes to refute your opponent's points.
Just so we give you a few seconds to catch your breath, a quick reminder, we're streaming live on Facebook and on YouTube, and you can begin to vote for who has impressed you. Some will make up their minds early, others will make up their minds later, but you go to our live streams on YouTube, look for Nigeria Info, and vote. Also, there will be other voting opportunities later after the second debate. This is debate number 3, and the first of 2 today.
That's correct.
Time for the rebuttals.
Indeed, time for the rebuttals. And now we will go straight to the motion opposer, Adepetu Adenike. The motion remains: will suspending duties and taxes on imported food positively impact the nation's food security? Well, Adepetu Adenike disagrees. She says, no, that will not happen. Well, now you will refute your opponent's points. Your time starts right away.
Thank you, moderator. Standing on the existing protocol, I still remain Adepetu Adenike, back again to make refutals to points made by my opponent. My opponent mentioned that it leads to long-term benefits, but what are they, my opponents? The only temporary, like you said, it will lead to only immediate relief and not long-term relief. What are the long-term relief that suspending duties and taxes will give us? It will give us none. You also said it will give us immediate relief. It will not give us any immediate relief. Yes, it can lead to the reduction of food prices, and yes, that's one of the points I want to address. You said it can lead to the reduction of food prices, Excuse me, my opponent. Suspending duties and taxes may not necessarily lead to the reduction in price for some food commodities. For instance, in Nigeria, when tariffs were removed on rice, it only led to making imported food items more cheaper, while the local rice was more expensive. According to National Bureau of Statistics, Nigerian rice rose about 30% than it was before. He also said it supports vulnerable population. What is it supporting actually? I'm actually supporting from the majority and not the minority. Supporting vulnerable population. In what way? If I may ask you, my opponent, you all are talking about, okay, there's hunger and we need other people to help us. But my opponent, tell me, what is stopping you from planting tomato in your backyard? No, what is stopping you from planting mango in your backyard? Nothing is stopping you from doing that. There's no law telling you cannot. So the better all Nigerians need is to be smart and all. You also mentioned that it leads to potential for long-term savings. In what way? It will lead to no potential for long-term savings in any way, because according to did you know that in 2023 alone, Nigeria spent over 1 billion naira on imported food, which jeopardized the livelihood of local farmers? You also said it will enable local farmers to compete effectively with foreign consumers. My opponent, with facilities, and do Nigerians have enough agricultural facilities to even meet up with the foreign standards that we think is better than us? Agriculture and agro-allied industries provide 70% of the 70% jobs for the population. These people will lose their job if crop production is done on behalf of us by other foreign consumers. Atiku Dangote once said that for every container of imported food being brought into the country, hundreds of jobs are being exploited. No wonder the world chase for non-existent white-collar jobs. He also said it leads to support for businesses. Support for which business, my opponents? And like I said, it will lead to only unemployment. It only leads to support for business in foreign companies and not in our companies. You also mentioned it increases efficiency. How does it increase efficiency? In what way? Because local producers are stopping their things. They can't compare with the foreign consumers, because when this imported food comes, people will obviously want to buy things that are cheaper. The foreign companies things will be cheaper and ours will be lesser. I know I'll be able to I make bold to say suspending duties and taxes on imported food will not positively impact the nation's food security. Thank you.
Right on time.
Well, it would seem Adenike's timing is impeccable. Twice now. It's landed on your
Right
dime.
on time.
It's time for a rebuttal response.
From Etomi Bernard, you now have 3 minutes. Your time starts now. Hold
Pardon
on
me.
hold on a moment.
We're resetting your clock.
That's correct. Now you can start.
Standing on existing protocol, I still remain a team and I still extend my greeting as before. First, you made a statement about job losses. How do you mean? Yes, agriculture might employ much labor, but what about the period between the dry season harvest and the rainy season farming? Yes, they might employ more during the rainy season, but this import is all year round. And besides, it's not only one food that's imported into the country. We have many other imported foods. Not only rice, we also have wheat and many other commodities that make a strong portion of the Nigerian diet. Also, you said something about revenue loss in the government. The government does not only use duties and taxes on imported food to make its own revenue. There are many other ways, such as the trade. I export food. I've never seen any country that does not export food and imports food. Well, look at it like this. Look at Nigeria, a country. Nigeria imports. If Nigeria is able to import rice, it will be selling at, if highest, a rate of 40,000 naira. But how much are we seeing local rice? I'll just go to the market, carry 40,000, and go and see a rice of 87,000. How will I be able to buy? This is one of the major causes of hunger in our nation. But we all know that the minimum wage for a normal average civil servant is 70,000. With a maximum price of 40,000 naira, I would be able to buy a bag of rice, pay for my house rent, and other things that I need to take care of, even including emergency fees. So I don't understand what you mean by it's giving revenue loss or a job. Also, you said impact on local farmers. These local farmers that you are saying that there's an impact on them. Do you know what they are inflicting on the population? All just because these domestic producers, all for their own because they run a monopolistic market, they believe, oh, our price will be accepted. No one can go. If you don't buy. Look at it from this angle. You have two choices: foreign rice with improved quality and of lower price, or a domestic rice that can even be affected by drought or poor harvest, which can limit the productivity, and also a very high price. Which of them would you like to choose? I know that my audience and masses will want to choose a bag of rice with quality, and that is why I still emphasize that food security deals with sufficient, safe and nutritious food. Most of these local rices might not be as nutritious or sufficient as they are. Also, you said something about dumping risk. The dumping risk is not about the importers or anything. It's about the way the people handle their cleanliness. The nation is responsible for his or her cleanliness and not the foreign countries. How do you expect me coming all the way to Nigeria? I drop a bag of rice, I go back. You use the bag of rice, dump it on the floor, and then am I supposed to clean it for you? It doesn't work that way. You take responsibility for your own actions. So with this, I like to say that, in support, I would like to say that the Comptroller General of the Custom or the Immigration, Bashir Adenike, has noted that suspending.
Well, during your closing round, you may wish to add that point you wanted to add during the closing round. Well done to both of you.
No doubt. And I also recommend that you use your headphones.
Yes, so that you're able to monitor your voice, okay? You keep speaking away from the mic. You must speak directly into the microphone.
Okay.
Well done.
You heard 14-year-old Etomi Bernard Samuel. He's an SS1 student of Jewel Model School, Abuja. She's up against 16-year-old Adenike Adepetu. She is an SS2 student of Pacific Comprehensive College, Lagos. Well, this broadcast is made possible by our partners and supporters, and we thank them very, very much, including our host school, Chrisland, a group of schools, as well as the others, and they include Olaya Foods, Call to Fly, and a few others which we'll be sharing with you as we go. Okay, I'm just getting clarification. Etomi Bernard, when is your birthday?
My birthday is on the 3rd of December 2010.
3rd of December. So you are not 14 yet?
Yes, I am 13.
You are 13.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you very much for that notification. We are correcting our records. So Etomi Bernard is 13, not 14. He's the second 13-year-old we are having in these debates, coming off yesterday's debates. Having said that, are we ready for the closing arguments?
Yes, we are. Remember, we are streaming live on Facebook and on YouTube, and we have polls up on X and on YouTube. Remember, the judges will vote to give one debater a second chance. One of the losers, by the way, a second chance. So you can vote. You can guess whom the judges will keep, while also guessing who will win this round, who will win this debate. Now, let's get straight to the closing rounds of the debate. And for this round, we will revert to the motion supporter, Etomi Bernard. It is time to rest your case, and you have 3 minutes to do so.
As I had highlighted before, the benefits of suspended duties and taxes on imported food far outweigh its potential dangers, as my opponent had listed earlier. The importance is not anything that can be undermined or overemphasized. Look at policy flexibility with potential long-term cost savings, encouraging efficient agricultural practices, and many more sea of benefits of this topic of today. With reduced import duties, we are able to ensure that we have access to sufficient, safe and nutritious food that matches our dietary needs and our preferences for a healthy life. And also, countries like Vietnam, Chile, Mexico, Indonesia, who have aggressively supported be overlooked due to the far better importance. The taxes on imported food has a capability of changing Nigeria's GDP and area trade for the better. So with this, I'd like to say that I'll be able to convincingly argue that suspending duties and taxes on imported food will positively impact the nation's food security.
And so He's done his part. He's done his job. It's out of his hands now. Etomi Bernard Samuel, 13 years of age, SS1 student of Jewel Model School, Abuja. This is I Beg to Differ Students Debate. It's the Tournament of Champions, the national finals. The students you hear on these debates are not new to the debates. They've debated. They are here because they were the most impressive in the collection of the local or regional debates. Etomi represents Abuja, and his opponent, Adenike Adepetu, was in the last season of the I Beg to Differ students debate, the runner-up. She has a chance now to close her argument.
That's correct. And she will get 3 minutes to do so. Your time starts now.
Thank you, moderator. Standing on the existing protocol, I still remain at Adepetu Adenike. Back again to close up on my argument. To begin with, I'd like you all to know that according to ResearchGate, the major factors affecting food insecurity in Nigeria are poverty, conflict, bad governance, natural disasters, high cost of farm inputs, as well as low literacy level. My opponents, have you considered how addressing these factors promoting food insecurity might have a more significant impact on the nation's food security rather than focus on duties and taxes that serve as revenue to the government? Wouldn't it be more beneficial if we focus on protecting our local farmers on their farm rather than allowing the suspension of duties and taxes on imported food? By supporting our local farmers, we can boost local production, create jobs, and ensure food security for the nation in the long term. This approach highlights the importance of investing in agriculture and protecting our farmers to strengthen the nation's food security. Here are my points in closing up on my argument. First, cultural preservation. Local cuisines and traditional food may suffer if imports dominate the market. Let's not forget that children these days will prefer pizza to amala and ewedu. Akara is now called bean cake. We prefer to take shawarma to school than eba and egusi. Local food production preserves our cultural identity and tradition, unique to the region. Second, impact on land tenure and use. Tariffs and taxes, reducing or eliminating tariffs and taxes on imported food items might lead to a trade deficit as impact on land. I'd like to go over that again. Impact on land tenure and use. The influx of cheaper imported food might change land use patterns as farmers struggle to compete. In some cases, this can lead to land being repurposed for non-agricultural uses, such as real estate and commercial development, thereby reducing the amount of arable land available for food production. According to the World Bank, 25% of global land degradation is caused by changes in land use patterns, which could be exacerbated if local agriculture declines due to increased import. Third, sustainability concerns. While lower import costs can provide temporary relief, they do not address the underlying issues affecting local food production. Investing in local agricultural sector and infrastructure is crucial for maintaining long-term food security. Building a resilient agricultural sector is essential for sustainable development and reducing dependency on external sources. Instead of suspending duties and taxes on imported food, the government could focus on providing subsidies, training, and infrastructure improvements to boost local food production. Implementing targeted food assistance programs for vulnerable groups can address food security without disrupting the local market. Furthermore, with the naira already devalued, an increase in import due to suspension of duties and taxes might put additional pressure on the exchange rates. Increased demand for foreign currencies to pay for these imports might further weaken the naira. While food prices might decrease, the overall inflation could affect the weakened naira, which can lead to an increase in the price of other goods and services. My opponent, is it wise to risk our farmers for short-term gains, or shall we invest in a future while food security thrives through homegrown strength? I know I've been able to convince you, beyond any reasonable doubt and beyond all lies and fallacies, that suspending duties and taxes. Thank you.
Okay, we need a breather now.
All right, just debaters, for future debaters, once the bell goes and you are in mid-sentence, complete that sentence.
Okay?
Complete that sentence. All right, thank you very much.
Ooh.
You've played your part. That's Adenike Adepetu, and the job is done.
That's correct. And what a spirited debate this has been. It is now in the hands of the judges.
Yeah, the judges, are dotting the I's, crossing the T's, after which all the judging will be collated by the chief judge and transmitted to us. Again, if you're joining this broadcast, it's a minute and a half to the top of the hour. We'll be getting set for the second debate of the afternoon, which, of course, in itself, it will be the fourth debate on the second day of the national finals, the Tournament of Champions. These individuals have come from across the country, and they have won their spots to this in the three regions, in the previous regional finals, the Port Harcourt finals, the Abuja finals, the two Lagos regional finals, and here we are looking for the champion of all the champions. Having said that much, we'd like to seize this opportunity to say special thanks to all our supporters, Olaya Foods and Catering. Thank you very much. They make all kinds of local delicacies, and they've got outlets at Lekki, VI, Surulere, and Ikeja. And of course, orders are accepted. So you could order your food and it will be delivered to you. Olaya Foods and Catering. Call to Fly. They've partnered with us to fly some of our contestants to the national finals here. They cater to all your...
On your top station.
We'll come to that. They cater to all your transportation needs. Everything from flight ticketing, hotel reservation, airport pickups and drop-offs, to freight and logistics. And of course, we'd like to also thank our hosts institution, Chrisland Group of Schools. We'll be hearing more about them in subsequent debate days. You'd also be hearing from some of our other partners as the debates themselves do go on. For sponsorship and partnership opportunities, please send us an email to info@nigeriainfo.fm. info@nigeriainfo.fm. And you can reach out to us in whatever other means you might have. Just search for our contacts online if you miss the email address, and reach out to us. We expect to hear from you.
That's right. Well, the judges are collating their results. Here we have the polls from we have the polls from social media, from YouTube and X. We will take them after we take the judges' verdict. And while we wait for the judges to send in their results, I do have a few notes that I'd like to point out to both debaters. I'd like to start with you, Bernard. Well done. Despite running late and still, having to go through what you went through due to motion sickness, you were able to put up such a good show. So well done to you. You are quite spirited. I love that. I love. I enjoyed listening to you. However, here are a few things you can point, you can note, okay, going further into the competition if you win. First of all, it is staff, not staffs, okay? It is staff, not the plural of staff is staff. Why? Because staff is the collective name for everyone, a collective term used to refer to everyone that work in an organization. But if you want to make that singular, you can say a member of staff. You can say members of staff, but you do not say staffs, okay? That's the first thing. The second thing is sovereignty. And please, this is to both of you. It is not sovereignty, okay? It is sovereignty.
Or whatever else you
It's not sovereignty, okay? It is sovereignty. Sovereignty, all right? The emphasis is on sovereignty, okay? And then to you, you meant to say a reduction in. You said a reduce in while making one of your points. It's supposed to be a reduction in or a reduction of. Reduction is a noun. Reduce is a verb, okay? And then you also said, and I'd like to point out here, a bag of rice. It is not rices. It is rice.
Yes.
I know you cannot believe you said that, I know,
Yeah.
but you did say that. And I'm sure it was in the heat of the moment, okay? But pay attention to this because this is the national tournament. Therefore, everything counts, okay? Everything counts. So it is rice. If you want to make it quantifiable, you say a bag of rice, a spoon of rice, a cup of rice. Okay. And also like to pay attention to this. When you're referring to a nation, you usually use the impersonal pronoun it. Okay. But if you're referring to a country as a motherland, then you use her. But you do not ever use his. Okay. It is either her or it. But you use her when referring to the country. Say, for instance, I say Nigeria is my motherland. I am proud of her progress. But if I want to say a nation, my nation is powerful. It represents so, and so. Is that clear to you? Good.
In this instance, you had actually gone on to say his or her.
Yes, he did say his or her. And that was quite the thing. Then when you say many more C of benefits. I quite enjoyed how you closed your argument, but you did say many more C of benefits. However, you could have said many more C's of benefits. Okay? And now to you, Adenike, the first thing I'd like to point out to you is productivity is productivity. There is no productivities. Okay? It is development, not development. And I say this again because this was pointed out to you in the last debate. You didn't quite catch it, but I hope you catch it now that it actually counts. Okay? So you say development, not development. You say, of course, sovereignty. You say an influx. Okay? Influx. You did not use a determiner when saying that. You just went on to say influx. You must add a determiner, an influx. Okay. The other thing I'd like to point out is there is no such thing as refutal, but you can say refutation. Okay. You can say, of course, here is one that is important. Cheaper is already in the comparative state. There is no need to add more to it. It is cheap, cheaper, cheapest. Okay. You did not need to say more cheaper. All right. So pay attention to that. And remember to always pay attention to the subject-verb agreement. When you use a singular subject, you should use a singular verb. In this case, you used standards. The verb should have been are, but you said standards is. Pay attention to that as well. It is existent, not existent. Okay? Existent. It is preservation, not preservation. It is prefer to. Whenever you use prefer, it collocates with to, never than. I prefer rice to beans. You never say I prefer rice than beans. Okay? It is always prefer to. When you use prefer, you must use to. Okay? Those are the notes I wanted to share with you. But great job. It was quite fiery. I quite love the fact that you used up the most of your time, at least much of your time as you should have. You used up much of your time. That's a really good thing.
We're awaiting the final verdict of the judges in this debate between 13-year-old Etomi Bernard Samuel, SS1 student of Jewel Model School in Abuja, and of course 16-year-old Adepetu Adenike, SS2 student of Pacific Comprehensive College, Lagos. Remember, one of these two will be one of the winners, and the other will be one of the two losers for the day. Now, I hate to use that word. It is just what it is. However, remember, this debate, this particular aspect of the I Beg to Differ students debate is one of the new introductions where in this tournament of champions, some students get an automatic chance as a wild card to continue even after losing. It is a provision for the first and second rounds of the debates. The first and second rounds, it will no longer apply in the third round, which will be the quarterfinals. So that said, as soon as the decision and the verdict is in, we will share with you. We are 8 minutes past the hour of 5. And could you double check, Yvonne, to make sure?
Yes, the judges are still collating the results. We are waiting
and
for the final verdict.
Happens, Adepetu major deductions for diction infractions.
Oh, yes. For Adepetu, she has a -5 deduction, a deduction of 5. And then for Bernard, it is 4.
All right. Would ask our judges to confirm if they have factored this into their final judging. And if they haven't, we will apply. So that's a -1 in the grand sum for Adenike.
-5.
Yes, I mean -5, -4. So that's a difference of 1.
That's correct.
Between the two. So pending when we see that final result. And as we await that final result, a quick reminder of what these debaters are hoping to receive. The first prize winner will go home with 2 million naira. Second place finisher, 1 million. And the third place finisher will walk away with 500,000 naira. Again, we say thank you to our sponsors, partners, and supporters. Special thanks to our host institution, Chrisland Group of Schools. Where are we, Yvonne?
We are still waiting for the judges. We are still waiting for the judges to send in their results.
Okay, at this point, perhaps we should take some comments from the audience to shore up the time. Yvonne, what are you finding?
Let me see here on WhatsApp. This message says, it's a tough call. Okay, this one says, this person starts by saying, please, the voice production on YouTube is shaky, especially when the debaters are talking. This is from Samson in Houston, Texas. Then he goes on to say, it's a tough call, but Adenike debated better. Samson watching from Houston, Texas. Well, that is up to the judges to decide. This one says, good luck to the debaters. They are okay. Let the judges decide.
All right. For the first, thanks to Samson for the observation. I would expect that Tunde in the streaming department and his team will be looking at it, perhaps checking the sound to make sure that we are A-OK for the next debate.
I have another message here that says, Adenike I do not know what you're trying to say here, Patrick. I'm not certain I know exactly what this means, but he goes on to say, she's got hard drive in her that may give her an upper hand in this debate. I am so glad that the program is back. Kudos to the children. Etomi at 13 has done really well. For Adenike, the experience of being a previous participant clearly shows. Both of them are previous participants, by the way. This is the Tournament of Champions. They are champions in their respective regions, and that's why they are here today. Then you go on to say, congratulations to the winner. Well done, Nigeria Info. Dr. Adekoya from Shagamu with that one. Let's see if we can squeeze in one call before we continue. Hello.
Good evening.
Good evening to you. What's your name?
Good evening, I'm Mrs. Oboli calling.
Hi, Mrs. Oboli. Good evening to you. Welcome.
Good evening, our moderators. Good evening, everyone in the studio. Good evening to the debaters as well.
Good evening to you.
Both of them have done greatly this evening. It shows that both of them, your group has really worked on them, and they've come out nicely this evening. So I commend the Nigerian Info crew for a job well done. Adenike, you are quite a fair and feisty one. Listening to you churn out your points so convincingly, and in the nick of time. I must say you are a fighter. You've stunned me with a lot of points you've given today. I commend you. You've never fallen short of my expectations. To Bernard, I want to say thank you so much. For a 13-year-old, you have also wowed me and quite a list of listeners listening to you today. Thank you so, so much. Thank you to all the teachers that prepped these children up. Your rebuttal, your rendition, everything just on point. I say thank you. I commend you both. Thank you to our sponsors. Thank you to the whole crew. Thank you for always making Nigerians tune to you whenever you come on air. Nigeria Info, Raising Leaders. Call to Fly, we hail you. Olaya Foods, we thank you. Chrisland Group of Schools, we thank you. And this is also a platform for other public sector and private sector to also come and put your money here. This is a good venture. God bless you.
Thank
Mrs.
you
Oboli.
very much, Mrs. Oboli. I see that the judges have sent in their results. It is time to go straight to that.
Most certainly. So here we go. Straight into the verdict for the presentation round. The judges have a combined total of 69 points for Etomi Bernard and 72 points for Adenike Adepetu. Presentation round.
And for rebuttal, Etomi has 40.5 points and Adenike has 60 points.
For the closing arguments, it's a total of 25 points to Etomi Bernard and 55 points for Adenike Adepetu.
And now to style. 26 points to Etomi and 33.5 points to Adenike.
There's a 4-point deduction from Etomi Bernard's score for diction infractions and a 5-point deduction for Adenike's points also for diction infraction, bringing the total to 156.5 points to Etomi Bernard and 215.5 points to Adenike Adepetu. Congratulations.
Congratulations, Etomi Bernard. Don't feel bad. You could still be in the competition, but you will have to wait and see. You will have to wait to find out, okay? After the debate at 5 o'clock, the judges will decide between you and the loser from the 5 o'clock hour whom to save in the competition, whom to give a second chance, okay? Well done. You were quite feisty. It's now up to the judges to decide who deserves to stay and advance to the next round.
All right. I have an interesting message here asking a question. Good evening, Yvonne and Femi. Please, when is Mary Uke Ashia coming up for her debate? Because I can't afford to miss it. That's Ahmed from Ikorodu. Well, Ahmed, you're about to find out.
That is correct.
The second hour of this debate will answer your questions. Stay with us.
We have polls. We have the results from the polls in. The judges, the audience, not the judges, the audience voted this way. 72.7% to Adenike to win against Bernard's 27.3%. So I guess the judges and the audience agree on this.
Thank you very, very much. Would allow the young stars exit the studio in a minute or two. We'll take a quick break. When we return, it will be time for the second debate of the night and the fourth debate in the series.
That's correct.
99.3 Nigeria Info. We are more than just radio. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at Nigeria Info FM. Check us out on Facebook at Nigeria Info 99.3. Follow us on Twitter at Nigeria Info FM and on Instagram at Nigeria Info FM Lagos for live updates as it happens. 99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk.